Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Qudash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Citations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And citations to you Akim out there pushing this truth with your boots on the ground on the highways and byways. And to you few Akwaf that's in obedience. Back at you with another lesson through the Spirit, all right? And this lesson is going to go into, we have all through, behind the distractions, we have port strikes, we have layoffs, we have hurricanes, and we're going to go into the port strikes. And it's pretty obvious that they have many distractions to knock the people out off guard. And when I say they, the elite, Esau, Edom, and the elite has a strategy and propaganda on the news. All they have is distractions, and what's really going on is it's going to be a port strike where there's going to be no food and no supplies to come into different places. So there's going to be a famine. There's layoffs, multiple layoffs in different companies. There's the BRICS nations coming together. You have people that are, you have so many things going on, and it's going to affect America. It's going to affect Babylon, and no one's seems to care or paying attention or warn the people. Only a few warn the people. That's how they work. A few know, then we can get things going. Only a few, but the majority know. So they do this thing. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys watch this. Might not be able to see it or whatever, but you can hear it.
Coast could shut down as early as next week due to a labor dispute. Tens of thousands of dock workers have threatened to go on strike if their union can't reach a deal to renew their contract with the operators of those ports. In a statement to members last week, the executive vice president for the International Longshoremen's Association said, quote, "We will fight to the end for what we rightfully deserve," adding, "We are on the right side of history." Lisa Bartlein joins us now. She is a transportation correspondent for Reuters. Lisa, thank you for being with us. What would the ripple effect be in the economy if these ports shut down?
It would touch most every business in the United States: importers and exporters, manufacturers, retailers, farmers. It would have broad reach.
And are we talking, what would kind of be the dominoes? So the ports shut down. Are ships going to be just kind of languishing out in the sea? Trucks backing up with nothing to pick up? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, that's the West Coast ports would probably be overwhelmed, which would cause jam ups on rail and probably trucks on that side of the country. Then the East Coast and Gulf Coast would stop. And then when they restart, it would be sort of a delay. And the entire shutdown would sort of ripple through the entire U.S. or the global shipping network, because they're on regularly scheduled sailings, and if it's like when one airplane gets delayed, everything else gets delayed. So it's sort of a multiplier effect of messes.
And have companies that rely on these ports, are they doing anything? Sometimes you can tell how serious a strike is by what the companies are doing to prepare for. What are they doing to prepare for this potential strike?
Well, the U.S. imports have been booming in July and August, and a lot of that looks like it was based on people bringing goods in early to avert or to sort of work around any sort of shutdowns on the East Coast. And the West Coast is probably going to see, if this happens, the West Coast will see a bump in imports as well.
And Lisa, now to the actual facts of the case, what's the union asking for in these negotiations? And is it a huge ask, or what's how much are they asking for?
They're asking for 77%, my sources tell me, in terms of wage increase, which I'm guessing is probably a negotiating tactic. The East or the West Coast ports got a 32% raise, so they'll probably get something a little bit higher since they're starting at a little bit of a lower base. And they're also looking for some sort of job protections. I think that's what a lot of this talk about automation is about. There's always worries that if you automate a job, you lose a job, and you don't want your rank shrinking.
Right. Finally, is the federal government, could the federal government play a role in this strike, and is it likely that they're going to come in?
We'll see. I mean, we're in the sort of final stretch now. They'd have to be invited in before that, and after that, there probably would be a tremendous pressure given the potential for damage to the U.S. economy. So I know that the Biden administration is really trying to stay hands off. We've got an election coming up, and the vice president is obviously on the ticket. And Biden is a friend of labor. So I think they would prefer to have this settled before then. And I think the employers sound like they'd like to have negotiations or mediation, but I don't think the union wants that. So Monday night is the big tell.
We'll be watching. Lisa Bartline with Reuters. Thank you so much.
As you see, when those ports stop and people are striking because they're getting mistreated first of all, they're getting mistreated on the pay, wages, and they're getting mistreated on because AI is coming and automating their jobs, and they're getting laid off. They're getting laid off, man. That's what's going on, and that's what's happening all over the world. Layoffs. All right, I'm gonna go to an article right quick because I only got a few seconds. Let me see. Article. Boom, 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 boom. All right, Cisco's second 2024 layoff, 500 and 600 job cuts, shift focus on AI growth. All right, so they're focused on AI growth all over. All right, and this is their second layoff. This is a mass tech. It's a mass tech. Cisco, leading U.S. tech company. It's a leading U.S. tech company. All right. So let's go to these precepts. And these are the things that are in the way that are going on, and we're being distracted on seeing because America is falling in many ways. America is falling in so many ways, it's ridiculous. And which in the Bible is called Sodom and Egypt, Mystery Babylon. And this is what the spirit of this place is. All right, let's go to Zephaniah 1:10 KJV. Loading, but yeah, man. Half of our people, Jake, they don't know this is going on. They're so focused on Diddy. They're so focused on the mayor of New York. They don't really watch and see. Zephaniah 1:10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and howling from the second, and a great crushing from the hills. And back in the day, fish gates and like markets were big thing, which is the same thing. The market and the shipments, the ports that bring in things so people can have different supplies coming all over the world. The trade centers and all that stuff is going to be put to a halt, which moves America. They're gonna cry out, and I want to go into the NLT on that real quick. NLT, boop. On that day, Zephaniah 1:10. On that day, says the Lord, a cry of alarm will come from the fish gate and echo throughout the new quarter of the city, and a great crash will sound from the hills. And that's what's going on, the crash of the economic system, the crash of American jobs, the crash of the American dream, the crash of merchants, and the crash of trades. All that stuff is finna crash, and it's coming soon. These are a sign of an end, and especially, and it's gonna come. It's gonna go into the Jacob's trouble and all that stuff, because people are not gonna be able to afford things because of hyperinflation. This may have happened before, but hyperinflation wasn't in the case. All right, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna trickle down. Let's go to Second Esdras, chapter 6. Verses 22, boom, and 32, KJV. You know, it's gonna be it's gonna be pretty scary, because it's pretty much a setup, man. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. All right. So the storehouses, all your grocery stores, everything is going to be empty, because there will be no, the ports will be shut down. There won't be any currency. There won't be any flow of merchandise coming in. All right. So people won't be replenished in their neighborhoods. It's going to be deserts and stuff like that, where we may come into go into cannibalism and stuff like that. It's going to get crazy. All right. And men shall be afraid, because guess what? If people will suddenly be afraid, man, people take care of their families and stuff like that. When they can't eat, you can't find any, you're going to get afraid. All right. And at the time shall friends fight against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. And spring of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. It's finna get tough. Whoever shall remain from all these I have told thee shall escape. All right. And see my salvation in the end of your the end of your world. All right. And this is gonna come, man. It's gonna come, man, and it's gonna come fast. And these are the signs. These are the signs, that we need to pay attention to. All right. I got one more precept. Be patient with me, Akim. One more precept, man. We'll close it out. We'll close it out after this. All right. So we got Ecclesiastes chapter 12. We're going to go into 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right. Keepers of the house. Your businessmen and your guys, and you got right now, you got all types of, high exec people stepping down. All right. Because of revealing of their wickedness and stuff like that. And then things coming, man. All right. In that day when the keepers of the houses shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened. So things are getting real, even for people in different levels of this Babylon. Things are getting real spooky, and that's the sign of the times, man. What they distracting you from. All right. And then we got the hurricane and all that. The Lord is not happy. He's bringing this wrath. It's time to repent. All right. And hoping this is edifying to the elect. All right. Prophecies are right here coming off the pages. With that, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Until next time, Shalom. Kwam Yashrallah.